Hey guys, so today we're going to start. Part one of the superhero assignment is going to be to grid your reference photo, or we would consider this a rough copy with this assignment. So this is a careful printout where I have made the margins as small as I possibly could, and I balanced out the figure in the center of the page for you. So later when you discuss elements and principles that are used in this assignment in your reflection, you can even discuss like positive versus negative space and how it's balanced. But our goal is to transfer this onto a larger piece of paper, but we want to make sure that when we transfer it, the figure is in the same spot on the page. The spacing is the exact same going around. So we can't just go ahead and grid it from side to side and from top to bottom, because when we transfer the image then, it's going to be kind of in the upper left corner on our new paper. What's going to reassure that we have it centered again the same way is that if we do a center grid on this and then create a center grid again on our larger sheet of paper and transfer it working from the center out, okay? So your rough copy, right, we'll call this our rough copy or a rough sheet for now, or reference photo. It's going to end up looking like this. You're going to have a cross in the middle of it, and then you're going to have everything calculated according to these 4 quadrants, okay? So the first step, I'm going to do Captain America with you guys here, is we're going to measure out the superhero here, the width and the length of the page that they're on. So you're going to take your ruler and just measure using centimeters the width of the page, okay? Also reminder, okay, so you want to find centimeters on your ruler, okay? When you're working with this ruler, the beginning of the ruler, the beginning of the plastic piece here is not where we start measuring from. Okay, you begin measuring at that first line that indicates the first centimeter. So whenever I say measure with this ruler, make sure that you're not lining it up like this. Please make sure that you have the centimeter line on the beginning of the paper. This is a common mistake. Kids will do this, just assuming that the beginning of the ruler is the start, and they'll start measuring from here, and then their whole grid is off, okay? So you want to make sure that that beginning line, okay, that beginning indicator of the first centimeter is actually at the start of the paper, okay? So if we take our ruler across the top, you'll notice that it's roughly 21.5 centimeters, and we divide that by 2, what do we get? Where's my math peeps? What is 21.5 divided by 2? 10.75. Good, okay, so it's 10.75. So you're gonna find 10, okay? 10 is here, this long line right after the 10. Now you're going to go to 0.5, which is that little line right above 11, and then go halfway over, okay? So 10.75. And then you're going to do the same thing at the bottom. So just bring your ruler right to the bottom. And again, make sure that you're starting from 1 centimeter, not the edge of the ruler, okay? Go to the very bottom, and you're going to find that same point, 10.75. Okay, now a cheat sheet way of doing this would have just been to fold the paper in half carefully, making sure that it meets and kind of crease it, and you would realize that that would actually still be your center point. Okay, now we're going to turn it so that it's lengthwise in terms of the spot we're measuring. So we're measuring the length of this paper, and again, make sure that your centimeter line is lined up with the beginning of the sheet. You'll notice that it's exactly 28 centimeters, and 28 divided by 2 is, 14. Okay, good. So we're gonna mark 14, which is that long line actually right after the 14. Okay, now this time we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This, sometimes when you're off by a millimeter, if you were to turn the page, you might make the mistake of creating a mark that's not equal to the other side. What I recommend is keep the paper the same, right? Don't adjust the paper position. Just bring your ruler down to the other side, okay? And you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to find 14 on the opposite side. And now this is going to be the markers that help you create your center lines. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler and you're going to match them up and make a nice dark line.
Matt?
Yep.
I got 28.5 and 21.6. Would I just pass that?
So this is what I'm talking about. Some papers are a little bit off. So I would just stick with this measurement, but make sure that you're moving your ruler like this, and you're not shifting your page. Just stick with one measurement and make sure that you're just moving your ruler and doing the same point on both sides. Okay, and now I'm going to cross this way. And now you're going to take your highlighter, ideally yellow or orange or something bright. If you don't have a highlighter with you, you could use a bright pencil crayon. Okay, and you're going to go over those lines. If you have a highlighter, you could go over the entire line right through the drawing. If you have a pencil crayon, you could just color the edges of the lines. So that we don't forget where these are, because these center points are very important, and when your figure is completely gridded, it's easy to lose those lines if they're not colored in. Okay, so this is step one. We want to get to here. We want to find the center going this way, the center going this way, make a cross through it, and go over it with a highlighter or a brightly colored pencil crayon to note those for later on.
The whole line?
The whole line ideally, yes, if you can, with a highlighter.